Yo, ViivviiX here with episode 3 of the V-Files.
New episodes every Wednesday at 6 p.m. EST.
Focusing on the pint-sized, spear-spinning youngest member of S.E.E.S, Ken Amada. I hope everyone has been enjoying the consistency of this series. It's been a real blast putting it together, and truly looking deeper at the characters and things I recently experienced playing through S.E.E.S. It makes it even more apparent how much this game and these characters inspired me. I mean, being the reason I finally came back to making content after nearly a year. Finally! I've been spending nearly 10 to 12 plus hours editing and making each video, so lots of love and care goes into what I am producing. A side note is, you may have noticed my 3D model has been slowly but surely getting updated, but as of this vid, got a glow up, and now resembles my channel's OC for my channel art more.
Who are you? You. No, not me, you.
And that's chill. But either way, if you know what you're getting into and have seen previous episodes, if you haven't, you should go check them out after this one.
This is your friendly YouTube spoiler warning.
If you want to show support either way, then make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. These are the points I will be focusing on. Segment 0 will be Persona Inspiration and Lore, aka Persona Trivia. Segment 1 will be Gameplay and Combat Prowess. Segment 2 will be Character Bio, and Segment 3 will be Highlights analyzing the personality, character growth, and moments I enjoyed him in the game. So without further delay, let's get started. Persona Trivia! Nemesis, also called Ramosia or Ramusia, the goddess of Ramos, was the ancient Greek goddess of divine retribution against those who succumb to pride and arrogance. Also, she is the daughter of Arubis and Nyx. It is also believed that Nemesis produced the egg from which hatched two sets of twins, Helen of Troy and Clytemnestra, and the Dioscuri, Castor and Polydeuces. The reason they hatched from an egg is because in order to avoid Zeus, Nemesis turned into a goose, but he turns into a swan and mates with her. Wow, Zeus is down bad.
He doesn't have a clue what's going on. Michael, you poor sweet thing.
Sir! Grab me that goat. But sir, it's an innocent animal. Grab me that goat.
One of her acts of retribution was to punish the beautiful Narcissus for spurning his many suitors. Nemesis caused him to fall in love with his own reflection in a pool of water, which led him to perish there from despair and regret.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with.
Kalinemi is the pre-Vedic spirit of the zodiac, encircling the universe like a great serpent, also referred to as the rim of the wheel of time. Kalinemi's association to the zodiac is closely linked to the observation that all seasons are determined by the position of the zodiac in the skies. In the Ramayana, Kalinemi is a Rakshasa, as well as Ravana's uncle. In the Ramayana, Rama's brother Lakshmana is wounded and requires a divine herb to be healed. King Ravana does not want Lord Hanuman to bring the divine herb for the wounded Lakshmana, so he orders the sorcerer Kalinemi to kill Lord Hanuman and promises half of his kingdom to Kalinemi as a reward. Kalinemi travels to the mountain of Hanuman is venturing to for the divine herbs, and under the guise of a sage, he attempts to deceive Hanuman. Hanuman sees through Kalinemi's deception. However, with the help of an Asparad, he then slays the sorcerer. Can't deny that I didn't just have to make many attempts to pronounce most of those names, and luckily, the power of editing is on my side. Check out the new backdrop. Kalinemi's pros is nullifies light, high agility, decent magic, single target Hama spells and Hama boost, single target heavy electric damage, Spearmaster, full revive, single target and AoE full party heals, and heavy pierce damage. His cons is he's weak to dark, low strength, low endurance, no AoE Zeo electric spells, and joins later, not too late but still later than majority of your long-term party members. His best gear would be the HP or SP boosting armors and any shoes really, just anything to give him more survivability. His best fusion weapons would be the cookin Galebolg spear with 260 attack, 85 accuracy, inflicts wind damage instead of pierce damage, and has wind boost. So he doesn't benefit from the wind boost, but it can add a little bit of diversity to his kit, allowing him to be able to do wind damage. Or the Shiva fusion weapon, the Pinaka, a spear with 450 attack, 100 accuracy, and all stats plus 10. His best accessories would be the Chakra Ring or the Wizard's Mark and Magic Ring, anything to really help mitigate his SP usage. As the Ring of Darkness, the Nados' hard item, nullifies his one weakness to dark. The Tome of the Void, a bad and hard item, protects from all ailments, which is useful for someone who will usually be your healer and reviver to not be taken temporarily out of the fight. Berserker Seal or the Space Badge gives him just a bit more survivability. As Spirit Bracers and the Sacrificial Idol grants 1 and full HP upon death once per battle. If you have a persona with Enduring Soul or don't need it on the MC, then it's helpful for someone to revive one of the few playable party members with one to be able to come back from the dead automatically.
I'm alive!
Nope.
I thought we could get nice and cozy in the dorm while we go over Ken's character bio. Ken Amada, he is the Justice Arcana. He is 11 years old. His birthday is June 24th, 1998. He is 4'7", weighs 101 pounds. And fun facts, he uses a spear to make up for taller opponents' reach advantage. He is a fan of Phoenix Ranger Featherman R, the popular Power Ranger-esque franchise within Persona's world, and maybe has an addiction to milk.
Ow! Maybe I should drink more milk.
I'd say I won't tell anyone, but I kinda just did.
Oops.
Okie dokie.
Ken Amada is a pint-sized, highly mature, and troubled middle schooler when he first arrives at the dorm. He doesn't join right away, once showing up to live at the dorm. Due to some issue with living arrangements is the only reason he ends up coming to stay at the S.E.E.S dorm. Or at least that's what Akutsuki said, and he doesn't have the greatest track record of being honest.
You son of a bitch!
He starts staying with you and the rest of S.E.E.S at the beginning of summer, around midway through the game on 7/18.
Hello.
He doesn't leave during the break because of his circumstances.
It was only me and my mom, but she got in an accident and she died. It happened 2 years ago.
So I decided to move him to your dorm for the summer. Why, of course, he has the potential.
Nani?
Yes. But as you can see, he's still just an elementary school student. So it is merely a possibility for now.
You son of a bitch!
At first, Ken is pretty relaxed and happy to be in the dorm, admiring Akihiko's strength and boxing abilities one of the first nights he starts staying at the dorm. And I agree with him, Akihiko is the stoic badass we should all strive to be.
Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
But he is a nice addition to the dorm life. His main trope being he is a kid who doesn't want to be treated as a kid, and I'd say rightfully so. He's experienced a lot, and I can relate to growing up way too fast. But nothing can be more annoying than someone assuming something about you because of your age, size, and so forth, when they don't know the first thing that you've been through, so it's understandable for the fact he has experienced stuff that someone his age wouldn't have typically gone through. At the end of summer, he ends up deciding he's going to join S.E.E.S, and states it's the conclusion he came to on his own, which I fully believe was the case.
I called this meeting so that I could introduce him, since he'll be joining our squad.
Nani?
But is he okay with it?
Actually, I asked to join. I believe I can be of some assistance. Now, I finally know why I was given this power.
So as you can see, it was his own decision.
Nice to meet you all. I'll try not to get in anyone's way.
Everything seems normal to the moment where Akihiko informs Shinji of Ken joining S.E.E.S, in turn leading to Shinji rejoining the group as well. Once Shinji does join and starts staying at the dorm again, you can really sense something is off, and the vibes Ken is giving around the dorm aren't so lighthearted anymore. He goes from seeking interaction with the rest of the group to always sitting by himself, contemplating something, and even makes a few comments about not really having full faith in Shinji. About 1 month after Shinji joins the team as well, you will find Ken sitting alone on the second floor for the last few days before the upcoming full moon's dark hour operation, where he is just stating, "I know what I must do now," essentially as if he's made up his mind on what he's been contemplating for some time now. Once the full moon operation of 10-4 comes around, Shinji and Ken are both absent from the meetup to prepare for that night's operation. Once the operation is over, the scene then goes to Ken confronting Shinji in the back alley of the Iwatodai train station, where Shinji asks, "What is this about?" And Ken coming straight out and saying he was there to enact revenge, to take Shinji's life in reparation for Shinji killing his mother, which I can understand his sorrow and resentment. Losing a parent so young, it's not an easy thing. And most of us would say that we wouldn't do that if we knew the person responsible for the loss of someone we love. But in reality, even if most of us would or wouldn't go through with it, the thought would definitely cross your mind either way.
That's okay. His cute little hands can't even fit around my neck.
And in a way, I respect Ken for at least trying to have the balls to go through with what he sees as justice. And it comes full circle for why Ken is the Justice Arcana. But back to the set of events occurring, Shinjiro is prepared to let Ken kill him if he had to, but warned him that if he did, he would end up becoming just like him.
But let me give you one warning.
Warning?
If you decide to take my life, you'll end up like me. Just remember that.
But before he can do anything, Takaya of the group Strega shows up, telling Ken to do it, and that it's his right to achieve revenge on someone who has wronged him. Ken is now kind of thrown off and starts getting cold feet, and in turn, Takaya becomes agitated and shoots Shinji in front of Ken. Then he says he's trying to identify and assassinate the team's navigator, who is actually Fuka. Ken falsely turns himself in, as he no longer has a reason to live, steering Takaya to fire at him, only for Shinjiro to jump in front of the bullet, mortally wounding himself while his friends arrive too late to save him, accepting his fate.
Come on, kid. You're just a kid. You've got your whole life ahead of you, so don't waste it. Make it your own, okay?
But I...
Dying, he reminds Ken that he's still a child with a whole life ahead of him, and a future that can be about more than vengeance. Shinjiro's death devastates Ken and snaps him to reality, but his last words inspire Ken to fight for the future his mother would have wanted for him. What Ken just witnessed couldn't be anything short of tragic, and leads to Ken leaving the dorm temporarily as he collects his thoughts. After Shinjiro sacrifices himself to save him, Ken becomes depressed and guilty. However, Akihiko finds Ken and ends up giving him the freedom to choose what he wishes to do from that point onward, allowing him to overcome his past and forgive Shinjiro, or to just wallow in his sorrow alone in that back alley.
When Mom died protecting me, no one would believe the real reason for her death. To this day, it's still on file as an unexplained accident. That's why I wanted to make it clear. I thought that's what she would have wanted. Maybe then she'd finally be at peace. They said he died by some violent crime, right? No one knows the truth, just like with Mom. And once again, I'll be left behind.
The dead are never coming back. You have to accept that. You're on your own now. You can stay in this place until you die if that's what you want. But if you still have the will to fight, then come back and stand on your own 2 feet.
He's right. I've known it all along, and just been lying to myself. I was consumed by hatred. I couldn't face the thought of being alone. But that's exactly what happened. All this time, I've just been running away. I made up my mind. Shinjiro-san, I'll see it through to the end. I'll be okay now, Mom. Goodbye.
This event changes Ken dramatically, allowing him to obtain his ultimate persona. Also thanks to Akihiko, the group would be more understanding towards his situation and stop treating him like a mere child, one of the things Ken has always wanted. One thing I see a lot of people bring up is the fact that S.E.E.S isn't upset with him for what he did, or was at least planning to do, and that they should have wanted to punish him for it. Which to that, I'd say that there is the fact that the team didn't have all the context of the events that occurred that night, as they showed up right as Shinji was just shot for the second time and didn't see the rest of the encounter unfold prior to their arrival. So it makes sense narratively. But also, even if they did know, Ken ultimately didn't actually kill or injure Shinji in any way himself. If anything, he actually tried to take that second bullet. Shinji chose to make things right, knowing he didn't have much time left anyways, and sacrificed himself for Ken to have a full life ahead of him. And if S.E.E.S ultimately wanted to hold him accountable for what happened, it would go directly against Shinji's final request for Ken to continue living. Ken Amada has a goofy voice, is a bright dude, an old soul, and a good addition to the members of S.E.E.S. He starts off as just some kid, then becomes distant and resentful, experiences tragedy, then blooms into a young man appreciative of the ones he has in his life, full of heart, and he, just like the rest of S.E.E.S, stands at Makoto's side till the very end. And it's definitely remarkable for a person of his age to have come to terms with death, as I definitely didn't when I was that age. His character definitely speaks to me even more now after really diving into the events that unfolded throughout the game involving him. I relate heavy to the growing up faster than you should, and in turn you tend to hold on to things like video games, cartoons, or things you enjoyed from your childhood. Being a big kid at heart, I used to be somewhat embarrassed by it. Like Ken was when you had to get a Featherman R action figure from him for one of Elizabeth's requests, but you never truly let go of those things. I've learned I'm not going to be ashamed of what I enjoy, and like and feeling insecure about the
cartoons are for kids
mentality some may have. Especially with the fact mainstream media isn't as anti-nerd stuff as it used to be, seeing adults make livings literally playing video games or things of the like. But enough with my tangent and personal exposition dump. I'd say my final remark on Ken would be, he might be the smallest member of S.E.E.S in stature, but definitely not in heart. Bringing things to a close, I hope everyone enjoyed this installment of the V-Files.
You should go check out the other episodes.
I learned some new stuff with editing in my recording program and hope people are enjoying the slight improvements and additions to the content. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want even more Persona 3 content to consume, go check out my Persona 3 survival guide. It's pretty chill. Quick side note, if you like to be kept up to date, make sure to check out my community page on my YouTube channel, where I will keep my viewers posted on what's coming up, asking questions regarding what content people might prefer to see, and more. But with that, any and all support is beyond appreciated. I look forward to seeing you in the comments of this video or any of my others. Till next time, I bid y'all a farewell, take care my friends, and stay cool.